Sheelam Param Bhushanam. Hello guys, this is Sparsh Gupta, IAS of the 2019 batch, presently posted as SDM Sadar Darbhanga, Bihar. After getting the result on 5th of April, there was a lot of time between we going for LBSNAA training and the time that we spend with our family, get-togethers and things like those. But it's always a dream of all the aspirants who are preparing while you are doing all your preparation, that everybody wants to go to that place called LBSNAA. And it's for everybody a place full of dreams, full of glorious memories, and there are a lot of aspirations and things associated with when you go for it. मैं बहुत सारे लोगों से इंटरेक्ट किया हूँ और कुछ लोगों का सर्विस के लिए प्रिपेयर करने के लिए रीज़न यही होता है कि दे वांट टू गो टू LBSNAA. एंड टू बी ऑनेस्ट, when I started my preparation, I had no clue about this. Over a period of time, जब मैंने तैयारी करना शुरू किया, I looked at YouTube, I interacted with people. तब मुझे पता चला कि लाल बहादुर शास्त्री नेशनल एकेडमी ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करके कुछ होता है, एंड वहाँ पे आप जब एक बार सर्विस में सेलेक्ट हो जाते हो, यू गेट थ्रू दैट लिस्ट एंड यू गो देयर. और क्या क्या उसके कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं ट्रेनिंग के, कैसे ट्रेनिंग करवाया जाता है. एंड दैट वाज व्हेन आई रियलाइज्ड, ओके, दिस इज़ one of the reasons that people are so desperate to join this service. And it is, to say the least, जो मेरा 2 साल का experience रहा है training का, it's all worth it. Like, all the hype about it is all worth it. These 2 years of your joining the service are possibly the best time of your life. जितना भी आपका मेहनत है, जितना भी आपका हार्ड वर्क रहा है इन पास्ट ईयर्स, और वट एवर ड्यूरेशन यू हैव स्पेंट वाइल प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिस एग्जाम, दिस ऑल कम्स टू फ्रूशन व्हेन यू रीच दैट प्लेस. वो कहते हैं ना कि मंजिल पर जब पहुंचते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि हाँ, यू नो, जो सफ़र था आपका, दैट वाज ऑल वर्थ इट. एंड दैट्स एक्चुअली ट्रू अबाउट दैट प्लेस. और मेरे भी बहुत सारे मेमोरीज़ हैं जो जुड़े हुए हैं, एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं. एंड अगर मैं याद करूं कि जब हम पहली बार आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम बुलंदशहर, माय पेरेंट्स हैड अकम्पनीड मी. इट वाज लाइक अ ह्यूज इमोशनल मोमेंट, बिकॉज हम लोग भी सब डरे हुए थे, कंसिडरिंग मेरा फिजिकल लिमिटेशन, आँखों का प्रॉब्लम, ये सब देखते हुए कि किस तरीके का माहौल होगा, हाउ वुड द ट्रेनिंग गो. हमने सुना था ट्रैक्स होता है, यू आर सपोज टू गो ऑन फील्ड टूर्स एंड थिंग्स लाइक दोज. हाउ आई विल बी एबल टू कोप अप, किस तरीके के बैचमेट्स होंगे, कोलीग्स होंगे, किस तरीके के फैकल्टी होगा. देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ, मतलब आपके अंदर डर भी था, नर्वसनेस भी था, एंड देयर वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ एन एक्सपेक्टेशन कि नहीं, यहाँ तक आए हैं तो आपको मज़ा ही आने वाला है. दीज नेक्स्ट 2 years आर समथिंग विच यू विल रिमेंबर फॉर योर लाइफ. And so when we reached Mussoorie, my first interaction with the academy, like I reached around 6:30 in the evening. और हम लोगों ने जब एंट्री किया वहाँ पर, and I met my course coordinator, Sudhanshu sir. He was so warm and welcoming that like generally parents are not allowed in the academy, so to say, for everyone. But that's how reasonable accommodations are given to people with disability, which shows, you know, just at the entry point, that my parents were allowed so that I could be able to adjust at that moment easily. So that is something which I realized, okay, like whatever nervousness और जिस भी तरीके के डर थे हमारे अंदर, वो सब एक तरीके से छूमंतर हो गए. So and then the day came when we were supposed to join the academy, the day 26th of August of 2019. I still remember. So in the morning it was raining cats and dogs. There was heavy rainfall, and we were like, अरे यार, कैसे अंदर तक जाएंगे? How would we be able to do our joining formalities? And hills में after rains the things get a little more messier. और आपको नहीं पता था कि आपके साथ जो एस्कॉर्ट्स होने वाले हैं कैसे होंगे, क्या है. So it was like कि भाई the starting of the course was on a very different note than what we all expected. But वो कहता है ना कि जहाँ पे दिक्कतें हैं तो वहाँ पे आपको solutions मिल ही जाते हैं. And to say the least, my course coordinator, he was on the reception gate as well. And so considering my limitation and like, you know, it will be difficult for me to walk and all, so they allowed the car inside. So that was something which I learned, that was a learning for me, I think, on the first day itself. That is the sort of empathy you are being trained to develop while you are being in the service, so as to serve the people. You need to understand their mindset, what they are going through, and then come out with solutions. And you might have to sometimes go out of the way to give them those solutions. So my training really began on such a note that I think that was sort of an eye-opener for me as well. And that also gave me the comfort that, you know, this place, the journey that I am going to have here is going to be a lot of full of memories, learnings, and a lot of experience which will keep me in good stead in the future career. And talking about foundation course, so you are supposed to have a lot of classes, lectures by the guest faculty, and you have a lot of academic curricular. The idea of the course is to intermingle with the other services, and that whole idea of esprit de corps, you know, developing those bonds with the service, because in the times to come, that's what will keep you going in the service, you know. So that is something which is developed over a period of time. I still remember the opening ceremony, the inaugural of our course, when the director addressed us and we sang that academy song. That was a goosebump moment for all of us, because we were full of expectations. We didn't know what we were supposed to expect and things like those. And the kind of warmth and you know, that welcoming sort of an atmosphere that the academy provides you with, you know, you feel at home instantly. And there's so much that they pack in that 100-day course that how it flies away you do not even realize. And you go on treks, you go on village visit. There was this 1 week training where we had you know, outside universities from outside to teach us technology, advancement in technologies. We were given certain projects, and we had a small seminar in Kevadia as well, where the Honorable Prime Minister addressed us. And that was also one of the high points of, you know, our foundation course, because, you know, while you join your service, meeting the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable President are two of the most awaited occasions for you. And that was that visit to Kevadia and getting to know how the Statue of Unity came up, and that whole process behind it, and how you do all these, you develop all these infrastructural projects, and, you know, how to come about, you know, planning those small things and things like that. That was such an engaging few weeks for us. And coming to, you know, my own journey, considering my physical limitations, there was always that fear in everybody's mind how I would be able to go about doing treks, or, you know, going on field visits and things like those. But so luckily, before even joining the service, we had gone for a family vacation to Bhutan. And so I did trek for the tiger's nest, and I went till the top. And so that sort of gave me an idea of, you know, there's nothing stopping me from doing anything, so I could do it. I just need a person to accompany me and escort me, and, you know, I'll be able to do it. And that sort of kept me in a very good stead during the treks, the local treks which happened in Mussoorie. I did all of them. And then the Himalayan trek, I think it was one of the, you know, biggest memories from my training days, because, you know, you stay in such, you know, आप इतने different locations पे आप रुकते हो. You stay in tents, you stay in places where you do not have electricity, you do not have network. You get to interact with people. आपके जिस तरीके के जो conversations, the kind of things that you do during that time, like that, those are memories for lifetime. Like I don't think like anything can replace those things. and you make such good bonds and friendships. I think that those are the times where your friendship for lifetime happen, right? So वो सब रहता है. Then we went on village visit. That is also an important component. I went to a district called Tapi, where we were put in one of the villages, and we are supposed to study the community culture and how things are, what are the different schemes that you are supposed to implement. That was also in sort of an, it gives you a holistic view of how things are, a bird's eye view of from developing these huge infrastructural projects at the higher level, to working at the grassroots, even in the villages, to in the cities, urban setup. So you get a flavor of all the things that you are going to be expected to do in your future career. And the village visit also, gives you an idea of sorts how the major population of our country is living and what kind of expectations do they have from us. So that sort of gives you an idea of how you are supposed to work. Then, personally, one of the best memory for me during the training is the fact that, during the foundation course, our course coordinator gave us an opportunity to design the disability module as we wanted to. So me and my batchmates who were from differently abled background came together and designed a module which has continued in the times to come. So I have heard that, that whole design and the module we sort of designed has continued. We did a practical experience called Dialogue in the Dark, where people were given an experience of how you live a life as a differently abled. And that was something which still remains vividly in my memory, because that is sort of a legacy we left during our foundation course, and which has continued in the next few courses, which says that, we did something which gave the officers an idea of how things are and what all they can do in times to come. So after having experienced all of those things, and then towards the end you have your India Day. That is also one of the high points of the foundation course, because you are gearing up for it, and you get ready, you prepare, you are able to experience the culture, the food, the kind of festivals that people make, and the kind of things which you are not privy to obviously before. So you get a whole flavor of things, and from north, south, east, west, and people are exchanging things. You get to experience food cultures, you get to experience dances, there are folk arts, there are a lot of exhibitions which happen, and there's so much variety, diversity in the country. That is the time when you get to experience it. And one special thing about our foundation course was we used to have state days on every Fridays, where we used to experience a state, and that in itself gave us an opportunity to interact with that state. And there were dancers, and there were folk artists which are called from outside, and you get to experience their food culture. So it was a course full of things where we were given a whole flavor of experiences and things which will give us an idea of how you are supposed to handle yourself in the times to come, basically, right? So then you have your sports meet as well in the academy during the foundation course, where you participate in a lot of events, the athletic events, running events. You have your other sport activities as well. That was also sort of fun, because that is the time you get to interact with the officers, and you have your PTs early in the morning, and other activities which you get to do, like cooking, painting. So the academy provides you with a lot of exposure, just to also you get to learn that you need to have a balanced life so as to continue in the long run in the service. Because what happens is you're too over-occupied with a lot of things while you are doing your job. So you need to have certain things which will keep you engaged. You need to have your hobbies. So they give you exposure of reading, or be it group activities like playing sports, or be it meditation and yoga, and whatever you like. So depending on that, you have various activities, you have various clubs. So for instance, I was part of the innovation club, and we did a few seminars and we did a few workshops where we called certain entrepreneurs who had done a lot of innovations, and we were working on a lot of solutions to different problems which are there on the field. So that also gives us an exposure of things to come in the future. So when when the final ceremony of passing out of FC happened, that was also a very emotional moment for all of us. I mean, because a lot of the people from different services and the bonds we had, they were leaving, and with tears in the eye and with a lot of happy memories, a lot of the batchmates of mine from different services left us, and then we were all 180 of us were left, and our phase 1 began on the 9th of December. So phase 1 also, till that point of time in the foundation course, you are given a flavor of all the different services, all the different things that you are you get to the various things that you get to do during the whole course of a career, being in different services, because it's a foundation course and it's a common foundation course. So you're given a lot of different things which will keep you in good stead in the future. It also helps in building inter-service camaraderie. So now when it comes to phase 1, the idea is to give you and train you with things which will help you in sort of 10 to 12 years of your initial service. So you are given an idea of what kind of roles you are supposed to play, what kind of things that will come in handy, sort of techniques, and the workshops which are happening, the group activities that you do, and a lot of engaging sessions that happen, the guest lectures that happen. And then one of the highest points of phase 1, you can say, or even the highest point of training, which is the Bharat Darshan. That is something which everyone is looking forward to with abated breath. And for me also, it was full of great memories. I mean, our route was such that it keep us engaged for all the 50 days. We traversed from Sikkim, Northeast, and to Calcutta, to Chennai, to Andamans, and to Vizag, to Hyderabad, and to top in the north to Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, and Vadodara. So there were a lot of places where we visited during that period of time. Even Bandhavgarh Wildlife Sanctuary in MP. So this was an eye-opener, also a learning, and you get to interact with your batchmates and develop a lot of bonds and memories which are going to be there for times to come. This is something which you'll never forget. It's like, I mean, you get to see things which I don't think you will ever be able to see, even being in the service. So that is something which gives you an idea of sorts why everybody wants to come to LBSNAA. So Bharat Darshan is one of the very, very few experiences that we go through, and I think it's something exclusive to the Indian Administrative Service training. But during the COVID times, I feel that things have become a little tricky. But it is a time when you get to absorb in a lot of things. You get a lot of attachments with the Army, the Navy, with the Air Force, with the municipal corporations, and with a lot of private sector as well. And then I got to go to Google campus in Hyderabad, and then you have your different NGOs, tribal culture, and there's a lot of things that you are given to experience, and which is basically the idea behind that is to learn, to interact with different stakeholders, and to learn basically on how you can bring about changes to their life, how you can improve the administrative part of things, how you can cooperate and bring about better coordination in the times to come when you interact with different stakeholders. So that is the whole idea behind doing Bharat Darshan. It's just not about traveling and getting to experience a lot of different sightseeing places and having good time. Is also a lot of learning which happens over the course of the time. And fortunately, one of the biggest memories for us was the night before the Bharat Darshan. We experienced snowfall in Mussoorie. This is something it's like part of training, and when you get to experience such things, these remain in your memories. And we were outside running around, we were on the mall road, and it was something of an experience which we'll, I think, remember forever. So then after Bharat Darshan, when we come back from Bharat Darshan, then again the academic curriculum begins. You are given a peek into how the court will function when you are in the subdivisional magistrate ka post, and then given different areas ka training, be it health, education, and how you will be dealing with land disputes and a lot of other things which will come while you are being in the service, be it the developmental role, be it the magisterial role. So phase 1 involves that. But then one thing that happened, especially in our case, was COVID hit us in March 2020, and that was the time we were in the academy. So I mean, that was also a time that everyone was going through a lot, right? Everyone was under a lot of stress, as was something nobody knew how to deal with that situation. And it was the same with us, with our academy, and so that was also a learning for us, because we still found out a solution to finish our training, and we were given certain online lectures, and they developed certain modules which were done online, and we found out ways to still engage ourselves. Although the classes were not happening physically, they were happening from our rooms, the social interaction part of it reduced drastically, but it also gave opportunities to the official trainees to explore themselves and to write poems. We started an online radio called LBSNAA radio. Our batchmates started it, and that was something of a innovation that came out of those times. So it's basically, it was a sort of reflection of the fact that whatever the time might be, the academy teaches you to come out with the solution for that, just not raising those problems, or because हर जगह दिक्कतें हैं, आपको पता है जिंदगी में दिक्कतें हैं, इधर भी दिक्कतें हैं, उधर भी हैं. But the point is just not to point out those, but to try finding solutions with a positive outlook. And that's what the training is all about. I mean, there is a lot of myth about this, that इसीलिए आपको LBSNAA जाना है या क्या है, but the point behind having that sort of a training structure and that modules, different things which you are supposed to do, be it at the morning PT or different activities that you are taught to do, there is a purpose behind that. Just to make you a little more disciplined, a little more encourage you to interact with people, so that you can connect with the people when you go into the field. So those are the few things which you go through during the training. And I mean, in the end, I would just like to say ki it's worth all the effort. The training in the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, it's a place where you would want to go back again and again. And while I have come back to the field, and it's the same with all of our batchmates, we really miss those times, and if given an opportunity, you would obviously take it with both hands, that you will want to go back to that place again. And it's a wonderful time that you have, and it is one of the major reasons why aspirants prepare for the civil services. It should be one of the reasons, but the idea behind that training, as I mentioned, is a lot of the time about learning to deal with the situations that will come into your life in the future, in your career, and experiencing those things, and having that coordination with different stakeholders and finding solutions to the problems that face our nation, and to develop our nation into the nation that we have dreamt of from really times immemorial. So this was my training period, and I'll wish you all the best, and I really do hope that you also really work hard and get to experience these memories and these experiences, and have a wonderful time, and all the best. Thank you so much.